The world is far stranger than we often realize, filled with bizarre phenomena and peculiar truths that science has verified, but common sense struggles to accept. From microscopic oddities happening inside your body to cosmic absurdities across the universe, reality consistently proves weirder than fiction. These 15 facts will challenge what you think you know, revealing just how wonderfully weird our universe truly is. The facts 1. Bananas are radioactive. Every banana you eat contains potassium-40, a naturally occurring radioactive isotope that makes up about 0.0117% of all potassium. This means you're being exposed to radiation every time you enjoy this popular fruit, though the amount is so minimal that scientists use banana equivalent dose as an informal unit. To measure radiation exposure, you'd need to eat about 10 million bananas at once to die from radiation poisoning, which is impossible since you'd die from potassium overdose first. Interestingly, sleeping next to someone exposes you to more radiation than eating a banana because human bodies contain more potassium-40. The human body itself emits about 4,000 particles of radiation per second. Airport security scanners can detect radiation from banana shipments. Despite this radioactivity, bananas remain one of the healthiest fruits you can eat. 2. There are more trees on Earth than stars in our galaxy. While the Milky Way contains an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars, Earth is home to approximately 3 trillion trees according to a 2015 study. That means our planet hosts roughly 7 to 30 times more trees than stars in our entire galaxy. However, this represents a dramatic decline from pre-human civilization when Earth had roughly 6 trillion trees. Deforestation reduces this number by about 15 billion trees annually, while only 5 billion are replanted, creating a net loss of 10 billion trees yearly. Different countries contribute vastly different amounts, with Russia, Canada, Brazil, and the United States hosting the largest forest areas. The study revealed there are roughly 422 trees for every person on Earth currently. This ratio continues to shrink as populations grow and forests diminish. 3. Your brain eats itself when you don't sleep. During sleep deprivation, your brain literally consumes its own connections through a process called autophagy, meaning self-eating. While some cellular cleanup is normal during sleep, chronic sleep loss causes your brain to aggressively cannibalize itself, potentially causing permanent damage. This occurs because glial cells called astrocytes become hyperactive when you're sleep deprived, breaking down more synaptic connections than necessary. A 2017 Italian study found chronic sleep loss leads astrocytes to destroy nearly 13.5% more synapses compared to well-rested brains. The brain does this as a desperate cleanup mechanism to clear metabolic waste, normally flushed during sleep. This self-cannibalization may explain why chronic sleep deprivation links to Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative conditions. Even one night of poor sleep can trigger this process. 4. A single cloud can weigh over 1 million pounds despite appearing light and fluffy. An average cumulus cloud weighs about 1.1 million pounds, equivalent to roughly 100 elephants floating above your head. They stay aloft because water droplets are incredibly tiny and spread across such a vast area that overall density remains lower than the surrounding air. Each cloud contains millions of microscopic water droplets, each measuring only about 0.02 millimeters in diameter. A large thunderstorm cloud can weigh as much as 200,000 elephants, or approximately 110 million pounds. The water constantly condenses and evaporates in a dynamic cycle, with droplets merging and splitting thousands of times. When enough droplets combine to overcome air resistance, they fall as rain. The massive weight of clouds is supported purely by atmospheric pressure and air currents. 5. Octopuses have 3 hearts and blue blood. An octopus possesses 3 hearts to pump blood to the gills, while a third pumps it throughout the body. Their blood is blue because it uses copper-based hemocyanin instead of iron-based hemoglobin to carry oxygen. This copper-based blood is more efficient in cold, low-oxygen environments like the deep ocean where many octopus species live. When an octopus swims, the systemic heart stops beating entirely, which is why they prefer crawling along the ocean floor. This unusual cardiovascular system requires significant energy, so octopuses spend much time resting. The octopus brain contains about 500 million neurons, with 2/3 located in its 8 arms rather than its central brain. Each arm can taste, touch, and make decisions independently. 6. There's enough DNA in your body to stretch from the sun to Pluto. If you unraveled all the DNA in your body and laid it end to end, it would stretch approximately 67 billion miles. That's roughly 724 round trips from Earth to the sun, or about 17 round trips from the sun to Pluto. The human body contains approximately 37.2 trillion cells, and nearly every cell contains complete DNA packaged into 23 chromosome pairs. Each cell's DNA measures about 6 feet long when unraveled, though it's coiled so tightly it fits inside a nucleus measuring only 6 micrometers in diameter. This is like packing a 40-mile thread into a tennis ball. The total information in your DNA if converted to digital data, would equal about 60 zettabytes for your entire body, despite identical genetic information. Cells differentiate by activating specific genes. 7. Honey never spoils. Archaeologists have discovered 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that remains perfectly edible today, still sweet and safe after 3 millennia. Honey's indefinite shelf life results from a unique combination of factors that prevent bacterial growth. First, honey's extremely low moisture content of 17 to 18% is far below the 20% minimum bacteria need. Second, honey's acidic pH of 3 to 4.5 creates a hostile environment for microbes. Third, bees add glucose oxidase enzyme which breaks down into hydrogen peroxide, an antibacterial agent. The high sugar concentration creates osmotic pressure that dehydrates bacterial cells, attempting to grow. When stored properly in sealed containers, honey lasts indefinitely without refrigeration. Honey can crystallize over time, but warming it gently returns it to liquid form. 8. You can't hum while holding your nose. Try it now. Pinch your nose shut and attempt to hum a tune. It's physically impossible to produce that humming sound. When you hum, you create sound by forcing air through your nasal cavity while keeping your mouth closed. The vocal cords vibrate to create initial sound waves, but these waves must exit through your nose to produce humming resonance. By pinching your nose closed, you block the only exit route for vibrating air. You might feel throat vibration, but no audible hum emerges because sound waves have nowhere to go. You can still vocalize other sounds with your nose pinched, like saying "ah" with your mouth open. This quirk explains why people sound different with a stuffy nose during a cold. 9. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Venus takes 243 Earth days to complete one rotation on its axis, but only 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun. This creates the bizarre situation where a Venusian day is longer than a Venusian year by 18 Earth days. Even weirder, Venus rotates backwards compared to most planets, spinning clockwise while others spin counterclockwise. This retrograde rotation means the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east on Venus. Scientists believe a massive collision billions of years ago knocked Venus into this backward spin. The planet's thick atmosphere rotates much faster than the planet itself, circling Venus every 4 Earth days. Despite being our closest neighbor, Venus has surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead at 900 degrees Fahrenheit. 10. Your stomach acid could dissolve methyl hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Has a pH between 1.5 and 3.5, making it strong enough to dissolve metal objects like razor blades. Though this takes several hours, this powerful acid breaks down food while killing harmful bacteria entering your body. The stomach produces 1.5 to 2 liters of acid daily from specialized parietal cells. Your stomach lining protects itself by secreting thick mucus that forms a protective barrier. Additionally, the stomach lining completely replaces itself every 3 to 4 days. When this protection fails, acid can create painful ulcers. The acid is so strong that vomit can damage tooth enamel and throat tissue, causing dental problems with chronic vomiting. 11. There's a species of jellyfish that's biologically immortal. The Octopuses downy jellyfish, called the immortal jellyfish, can reverse its aging process and return to its juvenile polyp stage after reaching maturity. When this tiny 4.5 mm jellyfish faces stress, damage, or aging, it transforms adult cells back into younger cells through transdifferentiation. The jellyfish sinks to the ocean floor, transforms back into a polyp, then matures into an adult again. Theoretically, this cycle repeats indefinitely, making it the only known animal capable of true biological immortality. However, most still die from disease, predation, or environmental hazards. Scientists intensely study this jellyfish to understand cellular mechanisms behind age reversal. The immortal jellyfish has spread throughout the world's oceans via ship ballast water. 12. Humans share 50% of their DNA with bananas despite obvious differences. We share approximately 50% of our genetic material with bananas, revealing common ancestry of all life. We share more DNA with animals, 60% with fruit flies, 80% with cows, and 98.8% with chimpanzees. This genetic overlap exists because much DNA handles basic cellular functions, common to all life forms. Genes controlling fundamental processes have remained stable across millions of years because they're essential. What makes humans unique isn't completely different genes, but how shared genes are regulated and expressed. Genetic similarity explains why scientists study diseases in fruit flies or mice and apply findings to human medicine. We share the same underlying genetic mechanisms across species. 13. The Eiffel Tower can grow more than 6 inches in summer heat causes the Eiffel Tower's iron structure to expand, making it grow up to 6 inches taller during hot summer days. Iron expands when heated and contracts when cooled due to increased molecular movement. At higher temperatures, the sun heats one side more than the other, causing uneven expansion that makes the tower lean away from the sun by up to 7 inches. Engineers in the 1880s accounted for thermal expansion by installing expansion joints. The tower sways up to 2 to 3 inches at its top in moderate winds, though its 10,000-ton weight keeps it remarkably stable. On extremely hot days, doors at the top become difficult to close properly. 14. There are more possible chess games than atoms in the universe. The Shannon number estimates there are 10,120 possible unique chess games. By comparison, there are only key D atoms in the observable universe, making possible chess games vastly outnumber atoms in everything we can observe. After each player's first move, there are 400 possible positions. After the second move, there are 72,080 for positions, and possibilities explode exponentially. The average game lasts 40 moves with numerous possible choices, creating a decision tree dwarfing nearly any conceivable number. Even the most powerful computers cannot calculate every possible game. This complexity means your specific game has likely never been played before. Once it moves past opening moves, this explains why chess mastery takes decades. 15. You're taller in the morning than at night throughout the day. Gravity compresses cartilage discs between vertebrae in your spine, making you measurably shorter by bedtime. Most people lose half an inch to 3/4 of an inch daily, representing about 1% of total height. While you sleep horizontally, your spine no longer fights gravity, allowing cartilage discs to decompress and reabsorb fluid, regaining lost height by morning. Doctors measure height in the morning for consistent records. Astronauts in space grow up to 2 inches taller as their spines fully decompress without gravity, but shrink back within days of returning to Earth. Athletes practicing high-impact sports lose more height during the day than sedentary people. Conclusion: these 15 facts barely scratch the surface of our wonderfully weird world, revealing that reality needs no embellishment to be extraordinary. From the cosmic to the microscopic, strangeness permeates every level of existence, reminding us that the universe has an endless capacity to surprise us. The next time you eat a banana, look at a cloud, or wake up in the morning, you'll know you're participating in something far stranger than everyday experience suggests.